Hey everybody, this is Rydo in the third chapter, week 2 of the solo adventure Rise of the Shadows experience has happened. Although, let's be honest here, there's been some odd actions by Blizzard, and I can only describe it as dumb. They have nerfed some of the classic cards right in the middle of this expansion, so if you were a new player, and some would assume and hope that some of the solo expansion here would be aimed at towards getting new players, how is a new player going to feel that in between the first week and the second week of this single player expansion, which is a month after the card packs were out in the first place, how are you going to feel about your confidence in Hearthstone in general and whether cards are going to be usable and playable when within a week of potentially starting to play the game, the cards get nerfed? Classic cards, which would be the cards that a new player would have more of than anything else. It's just bad timing. The whole thing has been terrible timing. This solo player expansion should have happened a month before the card packs come out. That way people could play with the new cards in the solo player expansion, get ideas, and know what they really want when you could start buying packs. And ideally what you would want to say is that when the new expansion, when the card packs come out, if you've done the single player expansion all the way through, you would get like 3 extra card packs, but you have to wait until that point. But that's not what they did. They're totally backwards. So speaking of being a little bit behind the time, I tried to defeat this, play the second chapter a second time, off screen, did not get anywhere. Actually, I conceded, and I had this ability that makes you immune to fatigue. You draw an additional 2 cards each turn, but you never can fatigue, so you just go through your cards really fast. I probably had enough heal spells also as the shaman that I could have continued to play and fatigued and seen if maybe I could have won after this guy just via fatigue damage, but I wasn't paying enough attention to realize that, so I conceded. That doesn't have much to do with anything, although I am thinking, since we only have 1 chapter today, after we make this recording for the live stream, I may try the Violet Hold a second time. And who knows, I might even try and get some of this stuff done on the European and Asian account if we manage to get extremely successful very fast. So we're doing Chapter 3, Streets of Dalaran, overwhelm the merchants of Dalaran to control the heart of the city. The tourist is crowded streets, so I assume that means we would make the we would have a lot of people on the field. Now, if I was going to unlock the whole adventure here, the price has gone down since I used gold. It was $19.99, now it's only $15.99. Or I can just use another 700 gold, which I would say the way this is being described as $6.99 equals 700 gold is inaccurate, because if you were to try to buy a pack, you would pay probably $1.99, not $1 to get 1 pack, and a pack is 100 gold. So they're doing some shenanigans here in the pricings. It's not equivalent at all. I guess you're probably getting a discount if you're using gold. Well, you're almost certainly getting a discount if you're using gold, because you probably didn't buy something in the first place to get the gold, so it's a 100% discount, as in free. And for the most part, my entire career on Hearthstone has been free to play. Maybe I spent $5 on a welcome bundle once, but everything else has just been that.
I promised Rafam that we will win over the merchant district by any means.
3 packs will be earned if we reach the 5th boss in this chapter, and that's really the only thing that we kind of need to do. And now we have a couple of new characters, which I assume the way this boils down is that the priest and rogue decks are probably more effective than the mage, shaman, or hunter decks are. So I guess rogue is pirates. Would that be a good move, or would we want to go priest and heal spells? Let's go with rogue. The fleet-footed Volpur pirate captain has gone freelance. So we can only use one ability until we summon 25 pirates and draw 100 cards. So you are going to have to play with each character multiple times. And then you have to defeat 15 bosses with each character also to get different decks. So it's very RPG-ish. Both players can only have 4 minions, which may work not particularly well with the rogue, come to think of it. So let's go back and try instead the priest. Both the hunter and the rogue feel like decks that would be more about having a low tier quantity over quality, whereas the priest is about healing, so the priest would then mean you would have more creatures that you'd want to keep alive by buffing up. So yeah, that's what priest is a better move here.
Barber rises against us. Cut her down to size.
So this is a boss we've already fought. You give a friendly minion a random haircut meaning some kind of buff. We'll probably run into the same bosses quite a lot. I would not be surprised if we run into him a significant amount of times, because I bet there's not that many bosses. Maybe 40 if I was to guess. Maybe some different variants on the same boss. If we ran into the barber at the end, the final boss, compared to running into the barber at the beginning, there's probably a more buffed version of it. Right.
Have you considered going purple? It suits you.
The streets are narrow, but skulking in dark alleys is our specialty.
So we have desert cart, fruit cart, and desert cart. And then meat cart, desert cart, and meat cart.
Is someone injured?
Job's done.
So these are just zero, no mana, no ability cards, just taking up space.
Your talents were wasted in the cabal. With us, I promise you will fly again.
The question would be, would the... I don't think you could probably do anything here. It doesn't feel like you could use a haircut on these cards. I think they are going to very strictly and specifically just be focused around the idea of
what a luxurious space.
Of taking up space.
Something sleek and elegant.
Okay. Well, there's our victory, so we don't have to do anything more. Just do this and that, and then we have 10, and then we move forward. This could be a very short stream. It really is just going to come down to things. Equip a random weapon, give it +1/+1. At the start of the game, shuffle 10 scrolls of wonder. Occasionally gives you helpful advice. I don't feel like helpful advice would be useful. But I kind of wonder if I should take that just to see what it does in case it does something way better than what I think. But I'm gonna play it safe and instead go with Scrolls of Wonders. I don't think I want to go Death Rattle. Don't think I want to do Cthulhu. Yeah, I don't see how I could play Cthulhu in 3 expansions and still have a good deck. So I'm gonna go with Miracles. And is this the character? All healing is doubled. Okay. I assume that's for both sides since it says all. It would say your healing spells and abilities are doubled.
A false priest. No darkness twists within you.
Let's see. I don't even have that many cards right now, so it's probably not worth it or necessary to start with Light Spawn. What's gonna kill a priest deck like this is your inability to get Light Spawn, inability to get a buff to buff Light Spawn.
Is someone injured?
Job's done.
Why did that play twice though? It's 10. Oh, it shuffled 10 in 2 groups of 5, which is odd.
Right away.
Let's see.
Job's done.
Even villains heal their wounded then.
In the light's name.
Okay, I see what they're trying to do. And this is gonna be bad. Okay, so how can we do this? I guess we do that.
Let me show you the other side.
Right away.
If this stays alive, I can buff it up. Buff.
Arms want more wings.
And then heal that. And that buffed that guy up accidentally.
Right away.
There's definitely a way this will not work.
Feel the moon.
Restoring their health back up to the maximum. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna have to be careful here. Gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna play this. And then do this. And that should get rid of some of that. So, because they don't have too many minions to play, or too much room, shouldn't run into too much trouble. That being said, I still am running into trouble. All these spells. Shuffle my entire hand and draw a new hand. Sure, why not? Okay. I recast the spell at a random pre-spell. And then double the health. I'm trying to take this pretty slow. I don't want to screw this up. Alright, we got it. 6 and 6. This is a different experience for me, in particular playing Hearthstone. Not doing a lot of talking, not covering video game news on top of it. Just focusing specifically on trying to win so we can have a good victory here. Because I really doubt I would feel particularly happy or want to play this a second time in a row.
All they do is run around stopping evil. Find a hobby.
Alright, next one is add a random magical feat to your hand. Interesting. These solo runs compared to the dungeon runs do feel like they take longer. That might just be because I'm trying to learn, or it might be because it does slow down the game in some way. I would say the inability to summon creatures normally might be part of it. Like the inability to have 7 creatures on the field probably is going to slow down the process. Yeah. So it puts 5 in and then it just does it again. So they're trying to limit the number of cards they ever show on at one time to 5, which makes sense, particularly if you're playing this on mobile. The idea of having 10 cards on display is probably asking a lot, but there's different ways you could animate that too. You could just have the cards overlapping more. Let's see. Add a random magical feat. What just happened? Scroll of Wonder just had me draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, just give me a minute to set up this next part.
Copy a card from your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. I just have to double the health right now because I'm pretty sure I'm losing these cards at the end of the turn.
Right away.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just improvising here.
play this. And the Scroll of Wonder locked a
Right away.
mana gem.
Master of magics.
So that's the danger of Scroll of Wonder, I suppose.
Right away.
We could probably get this done, I think.
I know a lot.
Assuming they don't... I don't somehow kill this. Let's see. And this.
Right away.
5.
Job's done.
So unless he just plays a bunch of spells this turn, and that somehow powers him up.
Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on these feats of prestidigitation.
Alright. This would almost kill it. So even if they had killed one of these things, they wouldn't have potentially killed them both. Of course, my Scrolls and Wonders could screw this whole thing up. Like all my cards played. Alright, so just do that.
Right away.
And win. Although I didn't really need to do that. Wasn't I supposed to heal a bunch of minions? I might need to be more careful and do that. Discover a quest reward. Take control of all enemy minions at 10 mana. Deal 1 damage, draw 1 card, gain 1 armor, summon 1 boom bat. Upgrades each turn. So we could have the Master Scheme that it could upgrade and would be a lot more flexible because it's playable between turn 3 and any turn after that. Or this that only works at turn 10 or later. Or this which would give you a quest reward but you wouldn't know what it is. That's the one to pick because that's the most controlled option. Let's see, Death Rattle again. I don't think we're doing Death Rattle. This would gain control of an enemy minion. This would steal cards. This would steal cards. Or this would be a legendary. I kind of like these legendaries, those 3 in particular. So we'll go with that.
Looking. Let's take a breather.
So into our first deck manipulation. Some of these deck manipulations, after I've seen saw a couple more of them, don't work out very good in the sense that you really can't do too much.
I always love meeting a new customer. Come on in.
Choose a friendly minion, add 3 new copies to the adventure deck. So I could have 3 Ragnaroses. Fill the tavern with new minions. Always start with this in your hand. That would be very helpful. Remove
We get all
a
types
minion.
around here.
Choose an enemy minion, add it to your deck. Are there any of these enemy minions worth having? Almost certainly this would not work. So always start with this in my
Now
hand
shake on.
and had 3 copies of
I
this,
appreciate the extra business.
and I can remove the Amalgam Nightmare because it's not really doing anything. Or I could re-roll and look for something else that I could try to remove. But I don't. I can't think of another card that I'd like to get rid of more than this, so let's just get rid of this. And we can play this, but we can't do anything because we have no more gold coins, gold pieces. But for experiment's sake, yeah, nothing really would have changed too much. I don't see a real reason to have tried to steal test subject.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
So a little deck manipulation there, make things work out better. And we move on to 4 of 8. This does just feel like a sleepy gameplay of Hearthstone though. It's slow. And I don't know how much of that is me and how much of that is just that these single player expansions, they're not snappy, they're not fast. They probably should be. If you're a new player, having really quick experiences would be probably preferable instead of your standard Hearthstone 30 minutes a game experience. Some of the Boomsday Project puzzles were like that, where on the low level puzzles you could instantly get them done and wouldn't even have to think about it. I lost my character, darn it. But then when you got into the late tier Boomsday puzzles, you were spending 30 minutes or more on them, just banging your head against complicated strategies that really those complicated strategies would not work in regular gameplay or could not work in regular gameplay.
Nature guides my
Often because there were cards in the puzzles that you could not use in regular gameplay. Alright, well, let's start with that. And then end the turn. And if I have nothing better to do, I should just use Lesser Heal. I have no minions. I have no minions to play. I've got too many spells and too many high tier minions. Meanwhile, this guy is doing a lot of damage to me. Chosen one cards and powers have both effects. Your choose one cards and powers have both effects enabled. Alright, that worked somewhat well. It'd be nice if Scroll of Wonder would get drawn and get rid of the enemies on the other side of the field. Alright, well that works too. Arms. More arms. Double the health. Go ahead and kill that. And attack here in the turn.
one falls, two shall sprout.
I desperately need to heal. I'm just hoping this will work. I'm hoping this will work. By killing this, that's 6. I have like 1 health. I'll be down to 1 health. And see, I think this is pretty much how this just goes, is that you run into scenarios like this. Let's see. Okay. I've got to basically win this turn. So, heal that to the max. Do that. Do that. Do that. Well, I lost. Lost. I wasn't close enough. Like, I could have instead played one of these and seen if that would have done something different. But unless the game is just programmed really wrong, it's just gonna go for the fatal. We didn't even make it up to boss 5. Wheel.
You chose poorly.
So yeah, this is what your experience is gonna be, is to just wrap up what, like, we didn't get the pack. I guess we could try again. Let's give it a second try, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the exact same thing. I'm not gonna play as this character, but yeah, I needed to restore more health and cast more spells to unlock any new ability. So the thing I guess I have most unlocked would be this, where I could now reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 2. A random card in your hand by 2. And we can play the elemental stack. So yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't, in most experiences, end up winning with the mage, probably, with this guy, and then using his unlocked abilities and improved abilities over and over again to defeat Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. But at this point, specifically, we are very far behind. Because ideally I would want to have all 5 chapters finished by the final video, but it is going to require grinding, and I could do that off screen or I could do that on screen.
One for you, one for me.
What does she do? She swap a random minion. She just took my minion. So my ability, it's not even good against this one character.
Alchemy is perfectly safe. Most of the time.
What fools these mortals be!
Just swapping minions like crazy. Four damage to kill that, I guess? I guess Divine Shield draw a card's not terrible.
do. On second thought, let's swap back.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Let's see. Play this. And then play this. Can't really play that at this time. But we can do this. And do that. Defeating these low tier bosses is great and all, but at a certain point you would kind of want to be able just to skip it, or just go back to the boss that you had trouble with, even if you had to still play with the same cards that you had before. It's just a wasteful process and time consuming to always have to stop at the bottom of the rung, defeat a bunch of people that you're almost certainly going to defeat just to get back to the one that is giving you trouble. Even when you think about old NES games like Punch-Out, one of my favorite games, they gave you codes after you beat 3 bosses. They realized even then that was the right way to do things. Like, but there's no cheat codes, there's no way to continue on this, you just have to start it over. And I think Activision Blizzard in particular is,
bad mojo.
I think they're mistaking playtime as a good thing in Hearthstone, when frankly quality of play should be a lot better. If everybody just played for like 30 minutes every couple of days and they were having a good experience, that's still perfectly fine. We don't need a game like Clash Royale where you have to play it every single day for an hour just to maintain momentum. Let's see. At the end of your turn, randomize the cost. No, we'll start with these secrets. That's a much better deal. Secrets. Spell damage. Draw 3 cards, spell damage. I'll take the inspired. Not great options on either one of those.
Vendor and a tree. That's weird, right? It's not just me.
Rock an issue.
Yeah, and I get the idea. I totally get that they're putting a lot of work to make this content and they want it to last, but they kind of don't trickle out content so it doesn't last anyways. Even when you're doing this 1 chapter per week experience, it will still probably be 2, 3, 4 months before another expansion comes out for Hearthstone. So that's, and for collectible card games in particular, that's really not the way you could do things anyways. You can't trickle out cards because that would be weird. You can't trickle out single player experiences too much, unless you were going to do a new puzzle every week and have a weekly expansion, or a weekly kind of tavern brawl, but tavern brawls done in a way that they're actually fun, instead of the way tavern brawls are done now, which is basically not fun.
Who you want me killed?
What's this ability do? Deal 1 damage to the lowest health enemy. If it dies, repeat this. So it's just gonna keep on attacking. This and this and kind of have to do this.
Who you want me killed?
Melt away.
Yeah, just having a counter spell.
Try turning this into a pie.
Okay. And we've won.
Who you want me killed?
And that's good and all, but we're still far from victory. The complication here of the field being crowded doesn't change too much. It would change me taking something like Mucklaw's champion, because that's just going to be less effective since there will be less minions on the field. But spell damage and draw cards, or magnetic mechs. Summon 2/1/2 mechs with talent and divine shield, and then some magnetic abilities. I think we'll just go with spell damage.
Rakanishu versus the great
I think the easiest thing they could do to speed this up is just start us at 5 mana or 10 mana in some of these experiences. That way we're not having to really think of any of like balancing of the cost versus the playability of cards. Let's do this since we have nothing better we can do. Might as well do that. And then do this. And then do this. A few spells, but I got a minion on the field. Add a random magical feast to your hand. What are other secrets? Secret trial and noble sacrifice. Give a minion +2 this turn. Alright, well, we'll do that and that.
Job done.
Deal 4 damage. Next time you use your hero power, it costs 2 less. Interesting. So if I do this, it will reduce this down.
The dancing master.
Which then, let's see. So next turn it will be for free, but it didn't refresh it. Interesting.
Done.
I can only assume this is ice block, so it'll give him an extra turn because it'll grant immunity on a fatal blow.
Have you ever seen something so amazing? I think not.
My hero power hasn't and can't deal 8 damage, come to think of it. So that was mana bind. If I can do one more damage next turn.
Still bites. It's a bunny.
Now I need to do 2 more damage. Now I need to do 6 damage. Okay. This. And this.
Dancing master.
I think we've got this. I probably should get rid of this card if I get an opportunity, because I'll just never deal damage with my hero ability that I'm using. Alright, let's go ahead and start with this.
It's time for a little. Give me your best.
Come on.
You'll be just like me.
Just end your turn so I can. 3 damage randomly split amongst all enemies. Let's see, hit this. And then do this. Then do this. There we go. That was a little bit of a gamble. I still probably would have won if it hadn't hit the face, but... Right. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a random treasure. Now that there are more treasures than when this was originally introduced, I find that that's probably not that useful. Choose a friendly minion, replace all minions in the adventure deck with copies of it. There, I do not believe would be a good reason to do that. Discover a quest reward. I guess we're gonna take the box, and I don't think I've ever taken the box before. What we're trying to do here, more than anything, is keep an eye on what the future will be like. And I'm gonna take this. Because if we get to the end, we're probably gonna need every single bit of trick that we can find, every advantage. Then
Rakanishu, the scamp from the lamp. You always brighten my day.
Alright. So let's go ahead and dismiss this. Choose a friendly minion. It gains +4/+4 but costs 2 more. I don't know if there's a reason I'd want to do that. Reduce the cost of a random card. The animation on these cards too, again, look different. 5 health to start with. Add all enemy minions to your adventure deck. They gain +1/+1 for this run. Whenever you draw a card, +1/+1, spell damage +1/+1, dream cards. And
Let's be bad guys.
alright, let's do that.
Order up.
So all of those 4 cards are added, and then reduce the cost of a random card in your adventure deck to 0. I think is the best
Good
move.
luck.
So what card is 0? That one. Fine. And that still probably is better than just gaining starting health by 5.
I'll put it on your tab.
So challenge 4, we want to beat challenge 4 and challenge 5 at the least. If we lose and we get challenge 5 done, boss 5 done, I think at this point that would be okay to just, well, even if we lost now, I think we're gonna have to end the recording after this, because frankly, unless I'm gonna do just a silent live stream, which I don't really want to do, I'd much prefer to just play off screen and try to get things done. And I think I will commit to that before next week, is to make sure chapter 2 and chapter 3 have been completely beaten. That way, in case there's some bit of information or dialogue that's said, when you beat chapter 5, it'll be shown.
Job's done.
I'm just gonna end the turn, I guess. Cast 6 spells that didn't start in your deck. Get Time Warp. Okay. Let's do this. This.
It's time for a little
This. And this. Actually, I'm just gonna hold on to that card and play this.
dancing master.
Like, his ability is to cast a random spell that was cast this game. Targets chosen randomly. Okay. So if I don't cast any spells till the end, I'm in a better position, and if I wait till spell damage is higher, I'm in a better position. So hit this.
Who you want me killed?
Give me your best.
Kill that guy so we can get increased damage and work around that. If I could silence all 3 of these, that would be amazingly nice. Let's see.
What fools these mortals be!
Like, if I could silence that, silence that, silence that, he would have only 1 slot with any minion that would have any attack at all. But I don't think we need to even worry too much about that. Let's see. It's just making explosive noises. +2 to this turn. Let's see. I kind of need to do this.
The dancing master. The dancing
And then
master.
do this. And hope it would have reduced that, but it didn't. Which I guess is fine. I think we'll win here, regardless of what happens, but We can play a backup plan of Yarsa getting reduced in cost. Let's see.
Foolish!
Ice barrier.
You call that a weapon? Give me your best!
Job's done.
Three damage randomly split. Let's see what this does. Nothing.
Done.
Take victory. I think we have a good foundation here for strategy to beat the final boss. Reduce the costs even more. Take control of a random enemy. Deal 3 arcane missiles. Summon 2 random cost minions. I'm gonna go with this, yeah. I think that's the right way. This is the boss we need to beat to get the 3 card packs. And then there's 3 more bosses on top of them that start getting difficult. Apparently he's some kind of snake handler.
Customer! No, just give me a minute!
And we played this last turn and it didn't do anything, but that's fine and to be expected, frankly. What's this ability? Craft a custom exotic pet.
Job's done.
Wait a minute! You're not a customer! I keep some common pets around too.
So, cast spells. It didn't start. Well, that's not a spell, per se. Let's do this. And surprise, surprise, that worked. And then... I'm gonna take that.
Ah, come on! At least pick up after it! I've got a big enough cage to lock you up in! Oh, look at the wee thing! It's darn adorable!
Summon 711 grubs, that won't work. That.
The dancing master.
That. Then that.
Can I pet it?
Done.
And then in the turn.
This isn't.
This one's popular. It's easy to train.
I guess we'll just do tit-for-tat attacks until I'm in a slightly better position. Let's hit that.
Thrill of the hunt.
Don't have any other beasts. I don't think I'm going to have any other beasts. see if we can hit this twice. Nope. Well, my card was stronger. Okay. Play this. Alright. And spell damage. I guess draw a card to start with. And then freeze a minion.
Job done.
And so we have a spell damage here, we have a spell damage here, and then we've got one card that we can actually do spell damage with. Now we have 2 cards. Right, so let's play this again. Spell damage. 6 damage or 7 and freeze. Kill that. Get done on the field for no real reason. Okay. I'm gonna play. Well, no, I kind of have to play this, and then kind of have to do that, and want to do that. I think we've got it here. We got, through a combination of slightly more skill than luck, I think we can figure this out and do 10 more damage.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
Let's see.
Whoa, you got a big enough leash for that?
Let's see. Well, that could have been useful. Do I want to get rid of spell damage? Just getting to kill this guy? Probably. That makes sense. Okay. Add a copy of any other battle cry card in your hand. Let's see.
Let's be bad guys.
I can't do this and reduce this by 2 and then play this. So what I'm thinking is, I'm hoping I have
coming right up.
a battle cry. No, I have no battle cry cards at all. Alright, so what do we want to do? We've got to freeze something. So freeze this. Play this. Play this. And then reduce the cost of this. And attack here. We still should have it. We still should have enough damage. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. play this,
It's time for a little
and
blood.
then play this, and then do this. 1, 2, 3. We got it. Good. I've really lost the taste for the pacing of this game, particularly if I'm just focusing on this. If I was playing this off screen, I would have probably something streaming on Netflix and very possibly also a secondary thing playing on YouTube or listening to a podcast. There'd be 2, 3, 4 things happening at the same time just to try to be efficient. Let's see. At the start of your game, summon 3 passive 3/1/1 boombots, which would kind of suck. Your minions all have rush. After a friendly minion dies, gain 2 armor. I think 2 armor is probably the best option there, because I doubt I'm gonna get an opportunity to I don't think I'm gonna get an opportunity to do double my health. So that's the closest choice. Okay. I'm gonna take Fate's Hand again.
Ah, the inn. I be reading many a fortune here.
So we can do a little bit more adjustment. I'm not sure that there's a specific card I'd want to dismiss.
All are welcome here. Just don't cause any trouble.
Okay. Discover legendary minion added to you. Give a friendly minion +2/+2 this turn. I could do that. Increase your starting health by 5. I might need to do that. Choose any minion and add
We
it to
get
your
all
deck.
types around here.
Random mage spell or fireball spells. Random spell to your hand every time you're inspired. I'm gonna take this.
Oh, look, you made a friend.
Although I would like to take that too, and that. If I could have added all of them, that would have been great. I'm gonna give this a
Heard this story
boost.
before. It's a good one.
And I don't think I need to do anything else, so we'll move
Safe
forward.
travels.
I see a
It's hard to
troll
tell
in your
also
future.
if
A
my
troll who sees
hero
the
ability
past.
is significantly changing the course of events here, or if it's only slightly being helpful. I think it's probably pretty significant having the ability to have hero cards that are reduced, reducing the cost of cards as a hero power.
Hey, you interested
Also,
in one of these
having an
treasure
elemental
maps?
deck
Are they
is
fireproof?
is probably helpful too. I'm gonna re-roll those 2 cards and hope I run into a 1 mana thing. We've had the box for several games now. Shuffle a random, what is it? Old treasure into your deck.
Job's done.
Okay.
Wait, you can't just take them.
So he's just putting these old treasures in his own deck.
Job's done.
I remember finding this one.
I'm gonna have to look at each of these options. Basically, I think what I'm looking for is if there's one that says double your health. Didn't return someone a copy of this minion. I don't want to do that. What did he do? He played Patch as a pirate and Explosive Trap killed it. Okay.
Elise! Thought you was out in the desert still.
Alright, deal 20 damage split between all enemies. I don't know how I don't say yes to that, so. And spell damage +2. Not worth it at that point. This needs to be on the field. This needs to be reduced. Discover a spell for free. 5 damage split between all enemies. Probably should have done this, actually. 3 random mage spells to the hand. There's Preparation, one of the cards that was nerfed. Okay. Let's see. We can do this. Play this. To a minion.
Spells are fun. So fun.
Desperate seas
Yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm gonna lose here. Again, just got lucky. Ice block here also will be a nice backup option. We can do this, and then we can play this,
The dancing master.
and this,
Job's done.
and in return,
There once was a man from Gilneas.
maybe if I play this next turn and this is on the field, it will put a copy of this back in my hand. Maybe that's what that means. 3 damage. And
It's time for a little blood.
Give me your best.
recycling's working rather well. What's funny here is I'm actually, if I played a few more secrets, I would push the secrets over the armor. They've run out of space doing this. Alright, let's see. Battle cry. Refresh your hero power. Do this again. Add battle cry cards back to the hand. There we go. And then refresh your hero power again. Alright, so now I know how this legendary works.
Job's done.
on the turn. And I don't see how I don't win next turn, which would then, I believe, leave us with only 2 more bosses to try to deal with.
Isn't this one cursed?
But it is the tendency that the last 2 bosses are the ones that are way more difficult than anything else. Either because you've, by that point, run out of energy mentally, and are just going to make bad decisions, or if there is actually a drastic difficulty spike that happens. Yeah.
Hey, good tickets.
I guess what you probably would want to do is go through 6 battles and then at that point, let's go ahead and do this. Take a break. But that, again, that would be something you would do off screen, not as a streamer on YouTube. Is I can't really say, okay, now I'm gonna take a 2-hour break and then come back and play the game. That wouldn't work. But that is my recommendation for regular players: is take a break now, play, then play boss 7 and boss 8. But no rest for the streamers, certainly.
Rakanishu versus Anari.
And the irony here could possibly be that they have special hero abilities that synchronize with the fact that there's only 3 slots, or 4 slots for minions to be in, since 3 slots are being taken out up over the 7. Let's see. Summon a 2/2 Trent or Taunt. That is a probably pretty easy thing to
roots,
use.
we will stand firm.
5. That's something, I guess.
It's time for a little
I got lucky there. I should have just played that card. Deal 4 damage to a minion.
My protectors brought some friends.
Alright, we've got the box.
Who you want me kill?
You can knock them down, but they will be back.
Yeah, this is a Treant deck if I've ever seen one.
It's time for a little blood.
Let's see. Some all minions killed by this weapon will won this run. This would be a bad card to play. I have 4 damage. So let's do it. 4 damage.
Some of my best friends are torches.
And add some elementals. in the turn. Okay. I want to play this. Give all of your minions +3/+3. Do I want to do this right now? I think that's probably a good choice.
Melt away.
This guy has 9 cards in his hand, so if I could force him to draw a bunch of cards, I could probably burn the rest of his deck, which might do something. But I'm not 100% sure what it would do.
Let's negotiate. You can see.
Yeah, I should have played that first. That was a bad choice. Killed that. I need to be a little bit more cautious with how this is going to play. Let's see.
I am the dancing master.
Here, just add a copy of that to my hand. A 0 mana 2/2. That's still a fine choice, I think. These are battle cry cards, so I can bring them back to the hand too.
Master.
Let's now bring this guy back to the field.
Coming right up.
I am the dancing master.
And end the turn. Running low on
Rise, my beautiful tree.
running low on cards. Gain +1/+1 on that.
Give me your best.
Yeah, bubbles, but I take.
Do I have any reason to need to use this ability? Not really.
Name, please.
Give me your best.
In the turn, I guess.
This isn't long played.
So it's 43 to 51.
I speak for the tree.
Make my tree ants grow!
That's the first time I believe anybody has said the phrase tree ant out loud. Alright, so this, and then play that. If I could play all three of these really right now, that would be cool. But can.
Give me your best.
And then change that to that.
Hand it over.
So as long as I survive next turn, which almost certainly I will, then I can cast this spell, which would then give me the other spell, Time Warp, which would let me end the turn, and then cast any of the 3 spells that I get from this spell in the second turn. Meanwhile, while I'm doing those casting, I can also attack with whatever minions I have in 2 turns, which will almost certainly get me very close, if not down to 0 damage. Unless he just plays some weird combination. And my secrets have lasted me the entirety of this game. Almost. Right. So just cast this. And then that gives me take an extra turn. So then we cast this. And then kill that. Do that. Do that. Extra turn. 3 damage randomly split amongst all enemies if necessary. Gain 8 armor. Summon a 2-cost minion. Or just do that. And that. It's a nice secret. So we had 3 plus 8 plus 4 extra damage that we can do. So we have only one more boss to beat, and then that means we'll we're just gonna have to. Well, it doesn't mean much of anything else other than we have one more boss to beat. Let's see, it says summon King Makla, give it immune and can't be targeted by spells, or King Mukla. So this would just be a minion that could not be targeted by spells or hero powers, including mine, so I couldn't beef it up, but it would be on the field constantly. Or I could get Banana Split to give a friendly minion +2/+2 and summon 2 copies of it, which would fill up the field. Or I could summon a legendary and summon 5 copies of it, which I couldn't do in this run. So do I want something on the field always, starting at the 5th turn? Or this? I think I'll take Banana Split. And then cost 2 less for each secret you've played this turn. That would actually be pretty good. Your next hero power costs 0. Inspire. Spells. At the end of the turn, summon a 6-cost minion. I think I'll go with trade secrets.
Do not underestimate the toy man. Those who do wind up.
So he's got 70 health, so he's not as difficult as some of the bosses. Geppetto Joy. Geppetto being the guy who carved Pinocchio.
Hey, you there! Come in here.
This is probably pretty early game. So let's just roll that. No, let's just hold on to everything. This is actually a pretty good starting hand. Play this first turn, play this second turn, play this third turn. Or earlier.
I've heard you've been causing trouble for my
Why does he have 80 health? It said he had 70 health.
Did that one fall off the shelf?
Inspire, add a random spell to your hand. Let's see. After you prevent... after a player draws a minion, they summon a 1/1 copy of it.
Breakfast? Wake up!
A new acquisition.
I'll take that. I will take that easily.
Yes! My army grows! We're running a sale on these!
A new acquisition. A new acquisition. A new acquisition.
I've just got so many cards. I'm going to instantly have a full hand by the next turn. Unless he starts. He's trying to reduce the cost of mechs.
But I take.
Just play this.
A new acquisition. A new acquisition. A new acquisition. You had your chance. You had your chance. You had your chance.
Job's done.
Yeah, and in return.
My toys and I are gonna put a stop to your little rampage.
I don't think it is. I think we have lucked out so well here with all these spells. Like, I could do this twin spell to do 2 damage and move this forward very cheaply.
Shoddy craftsmanship, but what do you expect?
Let's see. We'll kill this. We'll kill that. Well, play. Is that what we want to do? I guess this.
I'll show them all!
A new acquisition.
I wonder why that's still frozen. I wouldn't have thought it would have still been frozen.
I've been wanting to show this one off!
I don't think I'll be summoning any Murlocs that died this turn.
My shield for Argus.
Right.
Foolish!
Let's play that. Do that.
What fools these mortals be!
Fools!
I don't even think we're there yet, frankly. But we can just keep on doing this. Let's see. Start with this. And do this. And play that. So I'm ready to take a second turn, but I've got to get enough creatures on the field that I think would win. And I don't feel like I'm at that point yet. And I guess I have some mana lock, so I couldn't take the second turn anyways.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
Let's see. Want to play this?
Hey, a limited edition.
What's the most expensive thing we can do? Each player draws 2 cards. Discover another spells. Ice block. You know what? I'll take ice block. That's a good safety play. And we're at 70 to 53. Got a little bit of spell damage we could increase. Just do this first. This.
Bubbles, but I take.
You want to cast a spell? I want to cast a spell.
Probably is better for me to get rid of this. So yeah, we'll take care of that. We should leave this because he can't do anything with that as long as I don't attack it. Although, might be a smart move to kill this guy.
The dancing master.
Costs 2 less next time you use your hero power. Alright. 4 damage to a minion. If it kills it, add a copy to your hand. I'll take a random legendary, sure.
The icy winds of Northland will consume your souls.
Foolish!
Not ready yet. Vaporize, took that out. Good. Play that.
Foolish!
Give me your best.
I guess. We've got plenty of cards. They have a lot less. We've got 82 health to 49 health, so we're good. We have Ice Block as a backup. This is just going to be, can I get enough spells and spell damage that I want to do before I take an extra turn? Because if I can't, yeah, I don't really see the point of trying to cast some of these spells. I could kill that. That would make room. So I could play this
The dancing master.
just to get things off the field.
Foolish!
Well, do I have enough here? 5 plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, no, I don't think so, but maybe next turn. Maybe next turn we'll have enough to justify taking an extra turn.
I'm late. I'm late.
Cost 2 less for each secret you played.
I'm late. I'm late.
That will be helpful. This reduces the cost there. What does this do? At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all other characters. Is that every turn? I think it might be, so let's be careful. I'm gonna do this now. And hope that this works. If this doesn't get me a full victory, it should, at the very least, get me very close to a full victory.
Quickly. Quickly.
No, I'm a 10 off. Oops. But whatever. It got me close enough. I don't think that there's anything this guy can do. And at this point it feels like it's been about 50% skill and 50% luck. A lot of planning and preparation to get to this one boss. Certainly we expected that to be part of the plan. Let's see.
The dancing master.
And I just kind of need to play cards for no reason. Oh, I'm 1 attack short. So if he did a full field clear, the box might save the day. If it doesn't, I'm not sure what would. Scorch. Deal 4 damage to a minion, cost 1 mana if you played an elemental last turn. I guess I played an elemental last turn. So
Give me your best.
and victory. So we got week 3 done, chapter 3. In week 2, it's just chapter 2 hasn't been done, and yeah, I think I would just want to get that done off screen.
The markets are ours. We will reopen them with merchants friendly to the cause.
So yeah, all you get when you beat the entirety of it is that 1 line of dialogue and a picture. The fact that I've defeated 10 bosses unlocked a new ability, and the fact that I've defeated 15 bosses as this character has unlocked a new ability. And the fact that I froze 25 minions has unlocked a new hero power. No, it wasn't abilities that were unlocking, it was decks. So effectively, we'll go back and look at this. Yep. We get 3 packs, and the picture will change. And one of the Rise of the Shadows evil characters is added to the picture. And so, yeah, this character would be added to this picture.
Such
The Bank of Dalaran.
And this character was added to this picture.
We be taking all the loot.
So this character now has the opportunity to pick any of the 3 hero abilities and any of the 4 decks. So it's for its little RPG-ness, the mage is completely done. But I wouldn't suspect you get anything for getting a crown with the mage in each of the chapters, and it does open up the door that if you were obsessive and wanted to get a crown for each hero for each chapter, you're talking 45 victories, 45 times 8 bosses. That's a little over 300, somewhere between 300 and 450 if I refuse to do the math. So there's a lot there, and I guess it goes pink on the map once you've defeated it. But I think that's enough for this recording. Let's open the packs and then wrap up, and off screen I'll get chapter 2 done probably before next Thursday when the next expansion comes out, which I will say Hearthstone actually did mention on their Twitter the date that the next chapter would be available, but they really didn't mention the date that the first chapter would have been available, so they only corrected their mistake after the fact. We got an epic. It would be nice if it was a golden epic. Like, you can always try and push our luck there. But I have a decent amount of Rise of the Shadow card packs, however, so it doesn't really feel like I need any more of them. That being said, I have all of the classic packs, so once we do all 5 chapters and use the gold up, whatever gold is left can pretty much be used to open more packs, and we'll do a little pack opening video. So if I type in new correctly, we can see of those 15 cards, I got 1 card that was a rare that I didn't have before. I got a golden card here that's a classic that I did not get then. This is also a classic. This is a card, the epic we got, and this is also a classic that shouldn't be marked as new. So, yeah. Really only 2 cards out of 15 were even available. But if we use the key phrase missing and search only Rise of the Shadows, you can see epics and legendaries galore. There's enough grinding to happen. It's just that card packs don't have a very good drop rates for epics and legendaries, and that's been true since day one of me playing Hearthstone. All the standard cards that are missing right now are mostly epics and legendaries, but classic commons and rares are super easy to get. I think Hearthstone could do a great favor to people who have played the game or want to get into the game by just getting rid of the epic tier completely, making all epics cost the amount of dust that a rare would cost, making all rares and commons cost the same, or just making rares the new commons and make the commons cards that you get by default, which would be great actually. If you are a new player to Hearthstone, you certainly would be in this situation. I might well re-roll this while I'm here. You are in a situation where you only have to only have the basic set of cards, and the basic set of cards have to be unlocked even then, and they're just not good enough to play with. So if a new player was given a catch-up bundle that said, here's just a bunch of commons that aren't very good, but you are going to start a collection with 200 or 300 cards instead of starting a collection with maybe 100 cards. That would feel a lot better. And it's something you could certainly do digitally that you can't do in the real world, not cheaply at least. Anyways, that's it for this The Rise of the Shadows Week 2. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to further follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. That's a good way to make sure you're getting notifications for when videos come out, because if you don't click the notification bell and jump through a lot of hoops, YouTube will just not tell you when videos are out on YouTubers' channels, including mine. Also, if you want to support me even further, there's a link down below to Patreon, or you could friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. The Steam Summer Sale is coming up. That'd be a great time to do that. Or if you have a Steam code already through some other site, you can direct message that to me through Twitter, and it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.